So, as I'm already on it, let's continue with scale. So, of course, there's many different options. First one could be like D major scale, for example. So, and as you see, it's very slow. And maybe this is a good start, because then you can, like with this kind of bowing, you can separate bow changes from new notes. So you have, now you have the finger action, and now you have the bow action. So, and many things are similar, like in the chromatic scale video that I already probably have uploaded already. So you can have a look there. It's about active left hand fingers and kind of good awareness here. What changes in the scale is like we have bigger positions in the hand, and we have shifts, and then I want to talk a bit about shifts in scale. So maybe starting here. So how to do this shift well? So firstly, I think rule number one: make the sound very good in the note before the shift. So this is something you probably heard as a kid. Play the note longer before the shift, which is also right. So play it not too short, play it long enough, but I think very important to create a resonance in the note before. So if you have a resonance, this is a bit like a fog, which within you can do the shift without being noticed. So if you don't have it, I try to show a bit. If you do like this, with no kind of resonance, you will not have this cloak of hiding away, for hiding away. So then you can do a little bit of a kind of bow speed change, or kind of a little bit of a bump. Not very much though. So don't emphasize too much on that. For the shift, kind of bring the arm towards a position that is closer to the next position. So I would not like to show it precisely. Don't hold the arm like this and then move shoulder and arm together down to the next position, because this is kind of 5 kilos moving kind of in one direction at one moment. And I know 5 kilos, it does not sound like so much, but this is 7 kilos, right? So it's actually quite a lot. So 5 kilos moving in one direction will give the body quite a shock. So it's all about preparation, also for bow changes, by the way. So elbow kind of moves already a bit. We want to go here, so try to remember this position. How is the shoulder positioned? How is the elbow positioned? Going from first position, I already moved the shoulder a bit forward and the elbow a bit forward. The thing is, I think much more important to anticipate the future position, instead of being like I said now, move the elbow forward or the shoulder forward, because this can go completely wrong. So rather, remembering this position, feel a bit like how are my bones organized. Now go here and kind of move a bit forward, lean into the new position, and then let the hand snap. So leaning in. Yeah, so I think this makes much more sense than constructing single movements. I think it makes much more sense to anticipate the future position and the future feel, kind of how does the shoulders feel. So, and then also this will, so all the way up, right? So, and the way down, it's a little bit similar. On the way down, you want to. So you want to anticipate a little bit. So what's going to happen if you anticipate it? The upper body will open up a bit, like this, to make space for the arm to come closer. So you don't want to stay in this position and then do a shift downwards, because you will crunch into your shoulder at some point, right? You cannot play like this. So if this is my position for, I don't know if you can see it, but if this is my position for this high note, and if I would go to first position now without changing, it would be like this. And you can easily see, like, I cannot even do vibrato because my hand is so high, because it's so close to my shoulder. And this position is what I need for first position. So I need to rotate a little bit, I need to open up, I need to give space for open and relaxed movement. So this is, of course, a very big shift, but the same goes for a smaller shift, just in a much smaller step. So it's about finding the right step, or the right size of preparational movement for every shift. So if you have a third, it's quite little. If you have a fourth or a fifth, it's more. If you have an octave, of course, it's much more. So, for example, if you have an octave, so I don't know if you can see it, but it's really, I'm really anticipating the shift, making space, and then I'm kind of pulling the arm back, or I'm moving upwards. Okay, so this is now into shifts. I did actually want to make a separate shift video. For scales, and then I think the next option is, of course, to play with slurs and play it faster. Don't go too fast just yet. I actually think scales are quite difficult. Rather make sure the basics are right. So you have good finger work, as in my first video. Make sure you have good sound work, like it's even sound. When it goes a bit faster, of course, don't bother with the vibrato. So it's much more about this precision. Also, it would make sense to play scales without vibrato and slow, just to find a stable position also. Then play it faster, and then as the tempo goes faster, the tough work is the shifts. So to get the shifts kind of focused, efficient, fast. And relaxed. That's also super important. So the next thing also you should do on scales, I'm 8 minutes in, is also do different bow work. So for that I do a different scale. I do a scale on one string, 2 octaves. For example, E flat major or minor, I don't know, major now. Yeah, so try that. So, and then you can do different speeds. So this is kind of a middle tempo spiccato. Then maybe you can take 4. Yeah, and so on. And then maybe take the same tempo of the 4 notes and make triplets again. And then again 4. And then maybe, yeah, and maybe like that. Anything can work. So what happens if you play spiccato? Firstly, the hand becomes a bit more flexible. I don't know. If you play legato, you feel you know you need to have a certain pressure. If you play spiccato, you only need the pressure in this moment where it touches the string. So you can have a little bit lighter pressure, I think. So and also shifts are a bit easier because you have more time. If you have legato, you have 0 time. If you have spiccato, you have a little bit more time. So things will relax a bit. But then if you speed it up, you need to be quite quick again. So I would really try that. Make the hand relaxed, make it fast. And then at the same time you have practiced spiccato. Maybe this is also some topic for a different video also. But this is something I would include into scale practicing. So going with finger work, going with sound work, going with also vibrato. Yeah, I have not talked so much about the kind of continuous vibrato, quite important. So try this as good as possible, even though it's a long position, to have the arm kind of wiggle all the way. You will need a kind of a preparational microsecond or so. Prepare late. Kind of do the step as you need it, like when you need it. Don't stretch out the foot. Like if you were walking, you wouldn't walk like this to do the next step. You just do it when you need it, right? So it's also for running. Like there's this running technique that says it's kind of like falling forward and then kind of catching, and it's not like reaching out to, yeah, but different topic. So try that. Yeah, maybe that's it for the scales. So this is something you can practice on scales. And I mean, take 20 minutes. Scales are tough. And if you can play scales, you will need them a lot in Haydn concertos. You will need it in Schumann concertos. You will need it in Dvorak concertos, in Shostakovich, in Elgar. You will need scales all over. Also in sonatas, you will need scales. So if you're good at scales, you have achieved a lot. So be good at scales.